Good morning, everyone. It is morning here in Wesley, California. That's not too far from Sacramento. And we're going to drive over and try to get rid of an empty. Yes, I said try to get rid of an empty. Because I don't pick up until tonight, and I don't want to have this ball and chain around me all day. So sometimes the customers will let us drop off our empties early so they can load it early, or just take care of whatever they need to with the trailer first before we even get there tonight. So we're right next to Joe's truck stop, which it burnt down a few years ago and they rebuilt it back up. It's still nice. I never go to Denny's, you know, I go there maybe once a year, even though there's one at every truck stop in the country. But this morning I thought, maybe I'll go over and get some pancakes and sausage or something like that. So I walk in the door and she said, well, we don't have any food today because the cook hurt himself and he had to go home. So they were waiting for another cook to get there.
In 1,000 feet, turn left on Ingram Creek Road, and then take the entrance to the left in 500 feet.
So I didn't eat at Denny's. But that's never happened. I mean, and the one time a year that I do go there, when it happened, it was just bizarre. Doing is, I usually don't do night work, but tonight I'm picking up this trailer here in Wesley, and it's going to Phoenix. But I'm only going to pick it up tonight and drive about 50 miles and then go to sleep. And then wake up as early as I can, and it doesn't have to be in Phoenix until 10 o'clock tomorrow night, so I have plenty of time. Well, I have bad news. It's a live load and I can't leave the trailer early, so I have to find a place to park for the day. And there's a place to park not too far from here, or I could park at that dirt lot where I just was, but like to sit in my truck all day like most truckers. So that's good. I can be productive today and then drive, like I said earlier, about an hour tonight, and then tomorrow we'll hit Phoenix.
My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And she also said you are watching Adventures in Trucking with Indiana Jack.
Well, we didn't get much footage of that load that we picked up in Patterson going here to Phoenix, but it was a good trip. Everything went just fine. It was a hammer down drive, though. I didn't have much time at all, so didn't get any footage. But now we're loading here. Actually, we're loaded here in Buckeye, Arizona. Gonna head more east out to El Paso, Texas. So enjoy this trip going to El Paso. Yeah, it's a crisp morning here in Buckeye, Arizona. .38 degrees. For Arizona, that's pretty cold. There's two ladies driving that truck. You don't see that often. You do sometimes, but not that often. I think it was a training truck. This new QT they put out here, it's a nice new location, but they sure didn't put any much parking at it. What happens is when these truck stops near the big cities, when they put a lot of parking in, all the locals park there, and then it just becomes a parking lot. And
Turn left on South Miller Road.
that's an expensive parking lot for, you know, just the locals to park their truck at. About to merge back. No, we're on 8. Just about to merge back on 10. And there's a good old Arizona Arizona Highway Patrol stopping a guy there. I've said this before, that this is a gauntlet through here, all around Phoenix. The Highway Patrol is just out to get us. So I've actually been inspected more here and on 10 than in California. The other side of Tucson, that's where we are. And I get a lot of email requests to go by some of the older truck stops like Triple T. Which I don't know how they're doing financially, because they built a pilot right across the street, and now you can't get into the pilot because it's so crowded, but there's room at the Triple T, so not really sure why that is. I have some suspicions Triple T doesn't have any kind of fast food, which, as I always say, truckers have to eat these days. But Pilot does. Now, if you listen to Truck Talk Radio, he always, Trucker Tim on there always talks about how wonderful Triple T used to be, how they used to park your truck for you. It was full service and everything. But that's all long gone. The old timers still come here. But I'll bet you if you were to ask to look at their books, I don't know how they're doing financially. I don't come here myself because I don't have time to go sit in their restaurant and eat. They have a good restaurant, and that's what everybody likes that does come here. But I don't have the time to go in there, park, go in there, eat, and then come back out. So I'm gonna get something to go at Pilot. Huh. I'm noticing a feeling in my clutch that is odd. And I was talking with some friends in our terminal yesterday. It's funny that that is happening because we were talking about clutches. So it would be funny if mine went out. Not funny to me, but funny because we were talking about it. This is a brand new Freightliner too, for your old timers that like to look at the new stuff. It's a nice Freightliner dealer. here on the other side of Tucson. Here at the Pilot on the other side of Tucson, the same food, the same smells, everything that we're familiar with as a trucker going into a truck stop. Let's get on our way eastbound on 10. Nestled in the southeast corner of Arizona, about 17 miles from Wilcox, is an area known as Texas Canyon. And it looks just like a pile of rocks. I was gonna stop, but the rest area is closed. A lot of times I get email of people wanting to know where Texas Canyon is. Well, this is it, and it looks like a pile of rocks. It's a nice place to stop and enjoy your 30-minute break or just a bathroom break or something. Texas Canyon. We gotta get fuel. I only have 13 gallons left. And that's not very many. I usually don't let it get that low, but I did today. And let's see which one looks the least busy. Pilot. We'll go to Pilot. And it's 42 degrees here. So if you guys want to get out and walk around, make sure you take your coat with you. As we wait for the Swift to back in. By the way, if you get a chance, I would recommend you watch that video that I made by accident called 3 Swift Swifts. It's just about some Swift drivers that had trouble backing in. And the reason I say it was by accident, I did not try to shoot that. I captured it on my dash cam videos. And because everybody thought that I was trying to make fun of them. It's just something that happened. I put it out there and people really responded to it. So if you have a chance and you haven't seen that, check it out. Well, we got fuel back there. But I decided to stop one more time here at the Petro, which definitely needs a new road put in. We're almost to Deming. This used to be a different truck stop. I forget what the name was. So we'll be stopping here for just a few minutes. Well, we made it. So now we just have to wait here for 8 hours. That's all right. I'm gonna get something to eat and go to sleep, and then wake up after that 8 hours, and then go around the back, and they'll take my delivery. They still have that Salvation Army bell for donations for Christmas. Last night they wanted me to slide my tandems. You know, I'm half asleep. So I reach under here to grab the lever to pull the pins out, and it's an automatic. Watch this. Now I've had that before, but it's been a long time. It's been like 10 years or 8 years since I've seen that. None of our trailers these days have them except this one, and I got it last night. I wasn't expecting it. What it does is it releases those pins so you can move your tandems back and forth, and it's a lot easier on your back. We're here in El Paso. They unloaded me last night with no problems. As I told you, my appointment was for 3 a.m., but the guy comes knocking on my window about 11 o'clock, and the 11 o'clock and the 1 o'clock truck never showed up. So he wanted to take me early. Boy, that never happens. So we got unloaded and then loaded today for a load going to San Antonio tomorrow. So we're gonna get to sleep here and then head out early in the morning to San Antonio. This Petro here in El Paso, it's actually one of the original Petros, so everybody talks about it, all the truckers, because it's one of the original like super truck stops. You needed to stop here before you went on to San Antonio because there was nothing in between here and there, and that's 500 miles practically. So it was a big deal when this was first built. Well, good morning everyone. We're over here at Flying J this morning. And on our way. Petro doesn't have any food that you can get. So they have really good coffee over here at Flying J. So we're gonna get on 10, start heading east. We are way this side of Tucson, or the other side of Tucson, however you want to look at it. Just about coming up on that checkpoint up here for illegals. And then we'll be hitting Good old Van Horn. Maybe we'll fill up the coffee there, I'm not sure. We are here at the Loves in Van Horn, Texas. That was torn down because the old building was so old, and then rebuilt. So it's a brand new building. It looks more like just a regular Loves now. I thought they were going to make more parking and everything, but they didn't. The manager told me the next one is going to be Milan, New Mexico. That's the one they're rebuilding now, which I call Grants, New Mexico, because technically it is Grants. And then Clovis, New Mexico after that. It just so happens the district manager for Loves was in there. A wealth of information. But there's more parking here than what you think, because they got across the street a lot of little cubby holes.
In 900 feet, take the entrance to the left on I-10 East.
With this being open again, it relieves some of the pressure that the pilot across the street was taking. So, because while this was closed, everybody was having to go to that pilot, including the buses. We have 438 more miles to go, which is easy to do. Going through Texas on the other side of Tucson. Whenever I see that mountain, it reminds me of back in the 80s, Madonna did a video on MTV where she wore a bra like that. And that looks exactly like that. Except there were two of them, obviously, on Madonna, but that, I'll bet you there isn't a trucker in the world that doesn't drive by that thinks the same thing or doesn't think the same thing. Junction, Texas. Land of no Verizon cell service. place in the country that I know of where they don't have Verizon. Actually, one other place. In West Virginia, I know of a rest area that I've actually mentioned here where they don't have Verizon there either. But they don't have any cell service there. Here they have AT&T only. We're going to go to the brand new pilot here. I say brand new, but it's like a year old or something. Definitely a needed truck stop. Oh, I just got the alarm that says I'm low on windshield washing fluid. I think that camper is just camping out there. Or he's stalled, one or the other. This is one of those super pilots that has everything in it. Get a little bit of fuel. Well, we just finished fueling here in Junction, Texas. We're on our way to San Antonio, which is where I'll see you again. San Antonio next stop. Well, we've arrived. From the look of it, they have a lot of empties here. So maybe it's a drop. I hope. Last time I was here, though, it was a live unload. Which means I back up to a door and they unload me right away. In theory, right away. So, there's 3 trucks ahead of me. So now we just wait. Well, I have bad news. Bad news for me. It's a live unload in the middle of the night. So, I'm gonna do one of those fake, take my 10-hour breaks. I ran up and got a little hamburger. I'm gonna take it back. They have a little place for us to park there. It'll be quick. Man, you guys are bad luck. This is the second one I've had with you guys with me this trip. We made it back to our destination here. So we'll just have to get comfortable and stay here until midnight, and we'll go back over there to that guard shack. Trucking has its bad points, but it has its good points too. Good night. All right, it's my turn. Should be an easy backing maneuver, but you never know. Here about an hour and a half now. There's like 8 trucks behind me, so we did okay. And we got to open up our doors and slide our tandems. Our initial setup. Now we just got to pull forward once to get the tandem straight, our back, and the doors open. Wait here, I'll be right back. We're actually at a toilet paper factory, and they take these big giant rolls of toilet paper and cut them into little rolls somehow. And those are all the pallets of regular toilet paper. And that's my truck being loaded right there. What's funny about the toilet paper they're loading, it's brawny. Just saying. Well, we've made it all the way from Orange, Texas, which is clearly the other side of Tucson. Thanks for riding along with me, everybody. This is Indiana Jack, and you are watching Adventures in Trucking. We'll see you next time. One more thing, I know brawny is paper towels, not toilet paper. There might be a brawny toilet paper somewhere in the world, but I know I was hauling brawny paper towels. My point was the shirt, the lumberjack, all that stuff, by accident. Well, we've made it all the way this far from the other side of Tucson, where we started out. Actually, well, we're definitely the other side of Houston, all the way to the other side of Texas right now, in Orange, Texas, where we're gonna stop our, oh man. Well, that's it for the other side of Tucson. Right now we're in Orange, Texas, which is definitely still in the west, but not quite in the east, right on the border. That's where Orange is. Thanks for riding along with me, everybody. I'm Indiana Jack. Remember, trucking really is an adventure. Thanks for riding along with me. We'll see you next time. Well, we've made it all the way to Orange, Texas from the other side of Tucson, which is where we were the other day in our trip. Now we're on the other side of Tucson. Boy,